guys, welcome back. I'm making a quick video here because I have to change the brake pads on my van. My van has 270,000 miles on it. I just want to get this last year out of it before I get rid of it. I usually get about 300,000 miles out of my vans. I use the best brake pads and rotors from AutoZone years ago. About 170,000 miles ago, I put on the Duralast Gold rotors and pads from AutoZone. The rotors are those black coated rotors. I definitely recommend them. They last a long time. Now they're rusty now because they're probably 7, 8 years old. The brakes, maybe 6, 7, 8, something like that. I'm not changing the rotors because I have 270,000 miles on it. If I get another 30,000 miles, I'll be happy. I don't want to change the rotors because I don't want to put that much more money into the van. Because if something were to break, transmission, motor, or anything like that, I don't want to have $500, $600 in my brakes for nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little 2-inch disc here. Once I take the calipers off of the van, get the old pads out, I'm going to just hit the rotor with this disc. And all I'm going to do is just kind of clean it up. If there's any ridge on the edge, I'm just going to kind of grind it down real quick just to smooth it out a little bit so that the new pads will wear a little bit more evenly than if I were to just leave the ridge or whatever's on the rotor. Since I bought the Duralast Gold pads, I went to AutoZone, bought all 4 new brake pads yesterday. I got to take these old ones off, put them back in the box, take them up there, and they give me all my money back. They're a lifetime warranty, doesn't cost you a penny. So it's nice that they do that. You pay a little bit more for it, but to be honest with you, I paid yesterday, I got brake pads for the front and rear, and it was $115, so it really wasn't that bad. I believe the rotors are 100 and something each, maybe 150 each, so those are a little bit on the pricey side, but the quality of them and how long they've lasted is definitely worth it. But I just don't want to, I've had bad luck with the cheap rotors. I drive a lot, the brakes are warm, you hit a big puddle with cheap rotors, and then you warp the rotor, and then you can feel it every time you go to brake. It's just wobbling all over the place. So I'd rather keep these rotors that were the expensive ones and just resurface them a little bit without a machine, doing it with a little 36 grit sanding disc, than to waste money on cheap ones that I'm just going to be getting rid of the van anyways. So I'm going to set up out there. We're going to take off one of the tires, take off the caliper. I'll show you how I'm going to hit this with the pad, and then put the new pads on that one, put the caliper back on. I'm not going to record all 4 sides. Figured I'd just do a quick one on the one side just to show you how I'm going to do it. And for people out there that don't know how to change pads on a disc brake vehicle, you know, there's plenty of people out there that don't know how to do it. I'm sure most people that are watching this channel probably know how to do it. But and also, I thought I had some grease here for the slides for the pads. There's slides on your caliper that your pads slide back and forth on. I like to grease those slides because if you don't grease them, you run the risk of that pad coming in and staying stuck in because they're not free flowing on that those guides. So I have some high temp grease here in my bearing greaser, so I'm just going to use some of this on the slides. Just make sure you don't get this stuff all over your brake pads themselves or the rotor itself. So you want to kind of make sure that you only get this on the slides and not everywhere else. The reason why I like to wear gloves when I'm doing a bunch of mechanical work, I do a bunch of paint and body work. So the cleaner I keep my hands from getting grease embedded into them, the better I am. Because if I have a bunch of grease embedded into my skin and I'm doing a bunch of body work and I'm wiping the panel down and stuff with my hand, I have a really good risk of contaminating that surface and causing fish eyes in my paint job. So I like to wear gloves when I'm doing this type of stuff just to try to keep my skin from absorbing a bunch of oils. And I know you can wash your hands, but it doesn't always come out. So let's go out there, take off this tire, and see what we're looking at. I haven't even looked at it yet, so I have no idea. Okay, let's get this tire off here and we'll see what we got going on. Gotta be a little careful with these plastic covers. sure. These things are on there. I do not have any impact sockets. I have to get new ones. I had a bunch of them that were just kind of like a bunch of different sizes. I ended up giving them to my son, and I need to order or buy a new set of impact sockets. So I'm using a regular one here. It's working, but not as good. I don't have a ton of metric tools, and this is a stupid 12-point socket, so they don't want to go on the lug nuts that good. It wants to get stuck on them. Rotors really don't look horrible, so I'll just clean them up real quick, like I said, with that wheel, and we'll go from there. I mean, it'll be fine. Pads on this one, I think the inside one's more shot than the outer, so I need to grab a socket so that I can get off that caliper, and we're just going to move the caliper up on top of the A-arm. So let me go figure. I think that's like a 16 or 18 millimeter, I think, on that socket. Okay, it's an 18 millimeter. Now I want to see if I turn the wheel to see if I can get this impact back there. It'll be a little bit easier to get this off with the impact. These also, I like to put grease on them again as well. They're pretty dry. Have to go get a pry bar. So I have a nice big shop, like 4,000 square feet, and it's so full of customers' cars and parts and pieces that I have to do my own work outside in the cold, rainy weather rather than inside of a warm shop. So that works out well. On Easter, mind you, because I need to drive around and do stuff tomorrow. Okay. So let's push this piston in real quick. This is just a little cheap tool to push your piston back in. Hopefully it's long enough. Nope, I'm gonna have to go on the outer edge. It's not long enough. Actually, I got an idea. I'll use the old pad. See, these aren't completely shot. Seriously, 170,000 miles on these. I just heard some of them are grinding. I couldn't tell if it was a front or back. It's kind of hard to tell in a cargo van, but these are definitely worn more at the bottom than they are at the top. Okay, since I don't have the other tool, we're just gonna stick this pad in here, then put this in here, and we can compress the pistons back into the caliper. Hopefully I can get them both by doing it in the center, but I don't know that I'm gonna be able to. Yeah, I should be able to. We'll see if it works. But we need to get these back. If this doesn't work, we'll have to use some clamps that I have. But I think this is going to work. let that sit for a second. Pull this out. Yeah, these ones are not too bad right here. Okay. One of them might be the passenger rear one. I just heard grinding and I couldn't tell which one it was coming from. I need to compress this in the rest of the way. And I got to go get a pair of safety glasses. Sometimes it gets hard to crank. Let it sit for a second. Let the fluid get out of its way, and then crank it again. Okay, let me go grab some safety glasses. That's still got to go in a little bit more, but these are actually pretty darn good. They're kind of shiny, so we're gonna give them a little bit of a roughed up surface real quick. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is just take my wheel here. And I'm just roughening them up a little bit and getting rid of that outer edge that has a lip. I'm gonna do that on both sides of the rotor, and then we'll be ready to put the pads back on. But not bad for 6-7 year old rotors, getting driven in the salt and snow. So let me get these cleaned up and I'll come back and we're gonna put the new pads on. Okay, cleaned them up. Literally took me about a minute, 2 minutes. They barely had a lip on them. I was surprised. I don't know if that caliper's pushed in enough yet. Grab the new front pads here. So these are the Duralast Gold that I've had really good luck with. My receipt, I need that. Put them back. They gave me new slides. I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to use the ones that are on there. Not worried about it. This is the cheap low-down brake job. We're not going for anything crazy here, I believe. Let's see if these pads are all the same or not. Ripped my glove. Okay, we just have the clips on different sides. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, that's the that was the inside one, I believe. Let me just turn this a couple more times. When you buy new calipers, the pistons are all the way in, so you don't have to worry about doing this. That seems pretty far. Hopefully it's enough. If not, we'll have to do it more. So this was the inside, and you could tell because of the marks. Was that? Yes, this is the inside here. So this was the inside one, so our clip was towards the bottom. Yes, clip goes towards the bottom. So we're just going to go ahead and match it up with the same pad, which is this one right here. So this is our inside pad. I'm going to put them on here. Oh. Like I said, I'm going to put a little grease on these old slides and bolts. I don't need a ton, just want to put a little bit on here. Usually I have the grease for these. Clean the grease off my glove here. Where's the other pad at? Man, I don't want to have to take the bracket off. I was hoping I can get these in there without having to take it apart. Oh, there we go. Duh. Put them in there on an angle. I haven't done brakes in a while. Okay, that one's in. Managed to get grease on me. What these are is their your wear thing. These will start making noise when your pads are just about completely gone. This piece of metal will rub on those rotors and start making a god-awful sound. All right, let me wrestle with this for a minute. I gotta get that back pad in the rest of the way. Okay, pads are in place. Let's see if I pushed in this these pistons far enough. Yes, I think so. Got to make sure you get your boot for your pin not all bunched up. Now I'm gonna grease these pins up, and like I said, this is a high temp grease, so it should be just fine in here. Better than none. That's how I look at it. I mean, I use this for wheel bearings, so wheel bearings get hot, so do brakes. So I'd imagine that it should be all right. Okay, I'm gonna take these gloves off. Okay, so we have this first set back together. I'm going to go ahead and do the other three. Then I'm going to come back and show you what the difference is on the brake pads. These ones are not horrible. It was definitely, this is definitely worn, just about done. So this pin was still not hitting, but it was close. But I couldn't tell, like I said, if it was this one. But these are all cracked up and everything. They're done for. So let me go get the other three done. Come back at the end, we'll compare the brake pads and stuff like that. Well, the front brakes are back together. Took the back apart, and the back pads are definitely shot. So it was definitely the back brakes. So I get the old brakes apart. I get the pads out and all that stuff. This pin moves nice and free. This one completely seized up. Of course, I don't want to have to go to the parts store if I don't have to. I'm gonna try to put some heat down here and try not to burn up this rubber. Kind of hoping I can get this heated up a little bit. Hopefully I can get it to move. man, is that locked up. I'm gonna keep heating this a little bit and messing with it and see if I can't get it to lock up. Also, I forgot to show you when I was putting on the front brake pads, I realized, like on these back ones here, your grease has to go in here. This is where the ear of the brake pad goes. So right in here is a critical point that you want your pad to be able to slide back and forth on this piece of stainless steel. If you don't do that, you have the possibility of the brake pad getting jammed up in there, not wanting to move. So let me heat this for a little bit and see if I cannot break that free. If not, I'm gonna have to go up to the parts store. Rip the nerd glove. I'm gonna have to go up to the parts store and get another one of these brackets. I'm trying to do this on the cheap, so I'm gonna see if I can't heat this up and get this loose. A little bit of persistence. I got it. I've gotten it broke free. So now I'm gonna clean this all up on this wire wheel right here. I had to use some oil too, but I'm going to clean this all up, get all the rust off of it, and then I'm going to grease it and see if it works. So let me get this done. Okay, I got it. Now I can put the boot back on once it cools off, but it's going in and out. I cleaned all this out with oil and everything else. I actually used this stuff, it worked really good. Tap Magic, it's for my drill press, for tapping holes in metal. So, all right, I'm gonna let this cool off. I'm gonna go take apart the other side while this is cooling off. Then I'll get that boot back on there and then I can continue to finish this brake job. This is the culprit, passenger rear. How about no pad left, just metal. This one had a tiny bit. This was the, was this the outside? This is the inside. This is the inside pad. So that's the culprit right there. But you know what? Not bad for 170,000 miles. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing finished up. Both pins seem to be free on that side, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this put back together, and then we'll take it for a ride down the street, hit the brakes a few times really hard to try to seat the pads, and then we'll see what it feels like. Back together, let's take it down the road and see what it feels like. Now, if you've never done brakes before and you do brakes, keep in mind when you first push this pedal, it's gonna be soft because of moving the pistons and the calipers. Go down the road here. Yeah, I broke my windshield. What do I got on here? Give me a second. Okay, parking brake was on. See what they feel like when we get out on the road here. Try them in the driveway once. Seem fine. We're going to get up to like 30 or 40 and push on them a couple good times. Oh boy, stuff's falling over in the van. Yeah, a semi flung a rock off the back of his tire and smashed my windshield. They stop. They don't feel bad. They're not shaking really or anything. So I really can't complain about that. Try it one more time here. Until I get up here a little bit. I want to cram on them pretty hard, but I got my tools in the back. Even though they're on shelves, everything likes to kind of go flying around. Yep, my hand's not shaking or anything like that. A little bit of pull to the right, but I don't know if that was me or the road because of the road's kind of tilting on an angle here. All right, I call this one a success. I think it's all right. My hillbilly rotor turning job seems fine. No squeaking, no weird noises. Nothing seems to feel like it's sticking or anything. So I think I would call this a success. Hopefully I get another 20, 30,000 miles out of it. And and that'll be the end of this van. Stop one more time here. Yeah, it's pulling a little bit to the right, but like I said, the road does slant a little bit, so I can't really say for sure if that's it or not. So alright guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up if you guys are liking this kind of content. Let me know, and I will see you guys later. Thanks.